All right, welcome to this week's Deal of the Week. We've done a bunch of houses in Largo, and I think we're going to continue to look out there because I think there's some really, really good deals. This one is at 2481 12th Avenue Southwest in Largo, and if you're not familiar with that neighborhood, let me show you where it is because this one's kind of all about location. I mean, it's a nice house too, but I want to show you if you're, a beach lover. This is the little orange mark here. It's in Harbor Bluffs, and you can see you're 15 minutes, probably less, to Bel Air Beach or even over to Indian Rocks. So this is about as close as you're going to get to the beach without starting to get into a flood zone situation. So if that's your thing, this might be the house for you. Let's go through our 4 rules for buying in a buyer's market. Number 1, you set the price. The house has been on the market for 4 weeks or more. That means it's overpriced. You're not going to be offering the list. Try to stick with established neighborhoods the best you can. We want to avoid risky up-and-coming areas at this point in a soft market, because if you have to sell at some point, you might not have the appreciation there. And then we want to go for lower maintenance properties whenever possible. Always look in the description to see if they have listed a newer roof, HVAC or electrical. We don't want to be sinking $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 into new systems over the next couple of years. We'd like a low maintenance property, and they're out there. So, if you're a flipper, that's your thing, that's fine. But if you're looking to buy and stay for a few years, look for lower maintenance properties. And then lastly, try to find a house with broad appeal features. Like chopped up 2-2s or even 2-bedroom, 1-baths are going to be tougher to sell over the next couple of years, in my opinion. So try to stick with a 3-2 or a 2-2, if at all possible. This way, if a situation, you might plan on being there for 10 years, but situation might change and you need to sell. And these are the houses that are going to sell faster. 2-bedroom, 1-baths are harder to sell simply because it's not a family house typically, and it's not a roommate house typically. You want that second bathroom. So let's jump in and take a look at this one. Start with the pictures here. And again, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. I like seeing this with a 2 in the front here, $291 per square foot, this close to the beach. And it's had a couple of price drops here. So let's look at the pictures. The exterior front picture, I'll tell you, it doesn't look that great. Could be the lighting, could be the lack of landscaping here. But don't let that fool you. As soon as you get into the interior pictures, you see how clean and well maintained this house is. Now, it does look like it's staged and it is vacant. This could be a little bit of a dining area. They have a desk set up there, but looks like newer cabinets, solid surface countertops. Those appliances look pretty new. The only thing, and I'll bring this up now because we'll see it as we go through, this is an old window here. It's an old aluminum frame window. And it's kind of hard to tell with these sliders whether those are all also aluminum frame. I think so. I just can barely see the handle there, and that usually is a giveaway, those recessed handles versus the handles that you can kind of grab, which are on the newer sliding glass doors. Yeah, and then we see a crank handle there. So we've got, it looks like a lot of old windows, maybe all, yeah, there's another crank window there. Otherwise, nice clean bathroom with a, looks like a newer vanity and solid surface countertop, but old windows, it looks like all around. So that might be something that you would consider if you bought this house, replacing the windows at some point. I've got a separate laundry room and then a nice screen porch in the back. I mean, it doesn't even look like there's a screen there, but I can see some little smudges here. So I think there is a screen, even though it looks invisible. And yeah, that is an old window. Big shady backyard. Could obviously put a pool back there. And then, it's a standard layout for a 2. It's not really a standard layout for a 2-2 because the second bathroom is in the front of the house. So it's really, truly a guest bathroom. Now, it's next to the living room. You go through the kitchen, through the laundry room to get to it. So not terrible, offers a little privacy. It's next to the garage. And then the 2 bedrooms share that main bathroom. And then a living room in the front and a family room in the back. So pretty nice layout. Let's look at the price action on this one. We are on the market since the beginning of the summer in June. They started at $445, $313 a square foot, which at the time would have seemed like a pretty decent price. We're now down to $291 per square foot, which let's just jump into the rules check here. Listed 95 days ago at $445. Not bad when listed, better now. I'd like to see a little bit more of a drop here, but if I were going to make an offer on this house, I would probably go in at list, ask for closing costs, and then you'd be out at under 400, I would say. Harbor Bluffs, I mean, this is an established neighborhood, a lot of bigger houses in this area, and you're super close to the beach, but no flood. The roof is 8 years old, AC is 6 years old, electrical panel is 4 years old, and a partial repipe. So systems-wise, we're in pretty good shape there. Broad appeal, it's only a 2.2 with the garage. We'd rather have a 3.2, but still pretty solid. Not a big fan of the old windows. Impact windows are not cheap, but if you could live with the old windows for a few years, wait for the market maybe to improve a little bit to make sure that you're not going to sink money into a down market, this might be something for you. The neighborhood crime score is a 3 out of 10, so super safe there. And then the price value on this one, $291 a square foot versus $317 for the neighborhood average. There's a lot of bigger, nicer houses in this neighborhood, which I love. One of the rules of real estate is buy the cheapest house in the best neighborhood that you can. And of course, we're in a flood zone X here for your peace of mind. So, it's only a 2-bedroom. It needs some, maybe a little TLC on the outside, but it's got new systems. The interior looks super, super clean. I really like this house. I'd like it at $399, maybe $395, or at least get some concessions for closing. But I'd love to know what you think. Make some comments. Let me know if you think $415 in Largo for a 2.2, 1,400 square feet, 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the beaches, but not in a flood zone. If you think that's a good price, or if you think this one might have further to drop. So that's our deal of the week for this week. Let me know what you think. If you're looking and you want to see this house, let me know. Shoot me a text, send me an email. We'll set up a time to go see it. And with that, I am Steve Reynolds. I will see you next time.